Java infinite while loop. So what is infinite while loop? If the condition of while loop will never become false, then it's going to be infinite. Then it's an infinite while loop. See that? Int I equal to 1 while I greater than 0. Then system.out.println I plus plus I am printing. Now can you execute this? I value 1. So 1 greater than 0, true, comes inside. 1 will print. Now next iteration, what will happen? I plus plus means what? 1 plus 1, 2 it will become I value. Now 2 greater than 0, true, comes inside. 2 will print. Then comes to this line. 2 plus plus means 2 plus 1. Current I value 2. 2 plus 1. The I value will become 3. Now it goes here. 3 greater than 0. True. Comes inside. 3 will print. Then 3 plus 1, 4. And this keep on increasing. Every number is a greater than 0 only, right? And it is not going to end. That's why this piece of code will generate and keep executing. It never going to end. You have to stop forcefully. You have to stop forcefully. Otherwise, it is not going to end. So let me show you that. So I'll write infinite while loop. So all these control structures you will write in any method inside only. Keep this point, another very, very important point. Infinite while loop. So what is this? Initialization, we initialized as a 1. Then while I greater than 0 I kept. Somehow I made a mistake. Okay. So then what will happen now? You see that. And I put I value. Then I did a I plus plus. Now execute this. How can you format this? Select it, Control Shift, format. See that it will become same line, everything. That's a formatting. Or you go source and select source format. Okay. Control Shift F is the shortcut, and format is the another one you can do from the menu bar also. So let's execute. It's never going to end. See the code is executing. Keep executing. See that. See that it's in red mark and it's going on. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You need to terminate the program execution forcefully. How can you terminate forcefully? If it is in red color, it is keep running. You can see the outputs here. So what we can do, then just stop it. Stop this. Forcefully you stop it. That's it. This is a see gray color. Before it was red. That means it was running. Now it is gray. It stopped. So if you are not stopping it, keep going. Keep going. That's the infinite loop it is generated. Okay. So any questions here? Now another one. Directly here we have written a expression. With expression you generated the infinite loop. Suppose instead of expression, if we give a true value, and then will it become a false, and there is no chance becoming false here, right? Then this also generate the infinite. So multi-line commenting, I kept it. Okay. So I value we want, just initialize the value. Now you see always one is going to print, but it's never going to stop. So that is executing the code, executing the code, executing the code. So I'll forcefully stop it. So that's the infinite loop. Why it is infinite? It's never going to become false here. There is no chance. You hard coded the condition as a true. At least here itself we can change and we can make it a right. This condition we can make it false. But here there is no chance at all for you. You hard coded the condition value true means I told you the while loop is going to execute until this condition met false. There is no chance here false. So this is the conditions which are going to execute. Now, so that is infinite loops. Maybe in the exams they will ask this kind of things. So what is the output of that code? Now first int I equal to 1 while I less than or equal to 1 and system.out.println Java I plus plus. So how many times Java will print here? I equal to 1 and I less than or equal to 1, then print Java I'm saying, then I increment it. So 1 no, first I value 1 no, 1 less than or equal to 1 no, true first time, okay, comes inside, Java will print. Now I value what will become 1 plus 1, 2. So 2, now I value 2, 2 less than or equal to 1 no. True or false?
True.
True.
False.
Then go condition, then come back. If condition is true only, you will come into the while loop body. If condition is not true, you are not going to come into the while body. Very simple, and it's not a algebra kind of thing here. Very basic common steps. Okay, next. Int I equal to 2. Carefully execute this one also. While I less than or equal to 20 and system.out.println I. And I'm incrementing here. I'm doing multiplication of I. I multiply by I am doing. My I is I multiply by I, not I plus plus here. I multiply by I is my I value, updated I value. So I equal to I multiply by I is the my updated value. Now can you tell me how many values will print here? I value I initialized with 2 and I want to print till I equal to 20. What are the values it will print? That's the question. Understand and execute one by one iteration. See here how it is 2, 4, 16. Let me explain. First I value 2. It will come to the condition 2 less than or equal to 20. True. Write that 2 less than or equal to 20 equal to true. So come inside. So I value currently 2 will print. Now go to this place. Now I value currently 2. 2 multiplied by 2. I value 2, right? 2 multiplied by 2. I value one more time I. 2. 4 you will get here. Again, what will you get? You got a 4 now. Again, it will go to condition. Once you got the latest I value, it will go to condition. 4 less than or equal to 20. True. Write that. Write that. 4 less than or equal to 20. True. Come inside. 4 will print. Then go this line. Now I value 4. 4 multiplied by 4. 16. Then go here. Condition place. 16 less than or equal to 20 equal to true. True means come inside. And 16 will print. And again do this multiplication. 16 multiplied by 16. 256. 256 less than or equal to 20. False. False means what I told you. Don't go inside while. See how nicely it is coming. Don't make a silly mistakes, Sandy. I told follow the process. There is a process. Follow the process. Execute. Once you are perfect, then you don't need to do that every time true like that. So once you are getting a learning stage, do that. Don't be hurry. In the hurry, you should not make mistakes. Once you have a confidence, okay, in the mind itself you can calculate. You don't need to write. Okay, so that's why I'm telling. So step by step you go. Then the code will understand very easily. And if you're not following my instructions, it's up to you. You're never going to learn the loops. Follow the steps what I told, and it will come very nice. Anybody having doubt on those steps, or you want to go your own way, you're never going to understand. Always you'll make mistakes. So you choose which path you want. Okay, so that's the simple kind of questions, just to understand where you are with while loop, how it is executing. So next, find out the sum of first n natural numbers. See that n natural numbers is sum I want. How can you execute? Suppose I want 100 numbers as sum. 1 to 100 numbers sum I want. How can you calculate it? Somebody will give n value to 200. Somebody will give n value 150. Somebody n value will give 50. So I'm going to make a parameterized method. That's the only option. If they want to give their own values, the only option, we need to create a parameterized method. See, again, I'm telling the methods here one more time. And so int sum equal to 0. Okay, and initially I'm assuming my sum is 0, nothing is there, some value. And why I'm putting a return type here? I'm getting one output after calculating all the values. That's why I put as my return type is a integer. And so I'm initializing a local variable, sum is a 0. Initially nothing is there. And I'm following the while loop concept. I need to start 1 to n. Till 1 to n I want to go. Till n I need to calculate sum all the numbers one after the other. So how can you do that? So initialize first with the I value 1. Then while I less than or equal to n. So whatever the n value you are giving, that n value will replace here. So my parameter I'm using here. You give n value, that will come and place here. Then sum equal to sum plus this I value. Every time for the previous sum value, you add the I value. First I value 1. Current I value is 0, right? 0 plus I value 1. So it will add for 0, 1. So now current sum value changes from 0 to 1. So sum is now having 1 value. Then I value will increment. So I value will increment means I plus plus means what? 1 plus 1, that is 2. I value will become 2. Then where it will go? It will go to condition. Suppose you assume n value you have taken 10, right? So what will happen? Now I value 2, 2 less than or equal to 10. I am assuming my n value I have given 10. So 2 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. So this statement will execute. Now previous sum value, what is the previous sum value? 1, right? 1 plus, what is the I value now? 2. So 1 plus 2, that is 3. So sum value change it to 3. It will store sum value 3 now. Now I value are 2. Now 2 plus 1, 3. I value becomes 3. It will go to the condition place. 3 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. And the sum value 3, I value 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Now current sum value is 6. Now I value will update. 3 plus 1, 4. And it will go to condition place. See, every time you are getting a new I value and it is going to a condition to check the condition. Because you got a latest I value, right? That's why you have to check the condition. 4 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. Current sum value is 6 plus I value 4. 6 plus 4, 10. So 10 will store in this sum variable. Now I value is currently 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. Now here sum value currently 10 is there. 10 plus I value 5. So I value will become 5 and sum value is 10. 15 it will become. So total sum value 15. So next I plus plus. Current I value 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. And this is the 15 sum value. 15 plus I value 6. 15 plus 6, that is 21. 21 will store in this sum. Again I value currently 6. 6 plus 1, 7. Again you got a latest I value 7. It will go to the condition. 7 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. 21 plus 7, 28. So 28 will store in the sum. Now comes here 7 plus 1, 8. 8 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. And 28 plus 8, 36. So 36 will store here and then goes here. And 8 plus 1, 9. So 9 less than or equal to 10, true, comes inside. And 36 plus 9, 45. 45 will store in the sum and it will come to I plus plus. Currently I value 9 plus 1, 10. And 10 less than or equal to 10, true, and comes inside. and 45 plus 10, 55. So 55 is the current sum value. Now here I will update 10 plus 1, 11. 11 less than or equal to 10, false. It doesn't come inside. So sum has a 55 and return this, whatever the sum is there, that will return. Wherever you are calling this method, the final output is sum will be returned to you. So that's how you can take a small values, make all iterations. Smallest value take, but it is going to work for any number. If it works for small number, it works for any number. You give 100, it will work. We cannot do calculation for 100, 50 and those things, right? Make it small and make it work this logic, and it will be repeated for any number of n value, for any value it will work. So that's the concept, how to build the logics. So why I'm doing like that every time, why I'm doing 1 less than or equal to 10, 2 less than or equal to 10, process, follow the process while learning, and you won't make mistakes. Follow that. Once you are perfect, you don't need to do. See, did I write everything I'm doing in my, how is it possible? By practice it will come. By practice it will come. And follow that process, and you won't make mistakes. The code doesn't go wrong, and execute line by line in the loop inside. That's how you need to execute, Andy. Okay. So let's go and write all the programs. Do while we'll do later, but today we'll finish all the while programs. So we're going to write a lot of while programs. So let's see. Any questions? So I'm going to write a lot of what type of methods you need here. Again, I'm going to write methods only. I'm telling you, right? Methods only. You should be very, very strong. I'm not going to give up. Methods writing is the only crucial topic in Java, in Selenium. If you don't know how to write the methods, no use, Andy. So what type of methods you need? Last class we have written non-static, right? So shall I write static methods here? So I'm going to take one data type, P1. So logic I'll write. So private static. See that I'm not deviating from this formula. I have given in the beginning class, then methods time I have given, and I have used so many times this syntax. So why I'm writing this many times? At least one time, if you write many times, you can remember. That's my attempt. That's what I'm doing here. You can give multiple times. If you write, you're never going to forget. You also practice like this. And so what type of methods you want to create? First, plan it, then implement. And access modifiers, I given, access modifiers. Static, then I told you what is meant by void. If you use void, what will happen? I have given very clearly. And method name you give. So what I'm doing here is I want to print in the given range 5 divisibles I want to print. Only 5 divisibles I want to print. How can you achieve? So print 5 divisibles using while loop. So you give the range, okay? What range you want. So till what range you want 5 divisibles. 1 to this range you need to print 5 divisibles. How can you print? Using while loop we have to do this concept. You must be capital, right? See, first word all lowercase. Again I'm following the method naming conventions. All the basics you apply. That's what, where you learn, apply wherever you are creating a method. See that second word on each word, first letter is in uppercase. This is the naming conventions how we can follow. Printing 5 divisibles from 1 to range. So what is the range? So they're going to give it's your choice. That's a parameterized method. User can call this method, they can give their own range. 1 to 50, 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 1 to 200. It's your choice. I'm not stopping you. I'm not limiting it to particular value. So first initialization int I equal to 1. I need to start initialization. This is the while loop first statement. Then second while, follow the structure how I have given. So I'm going 1 to range means it's a ascending order or a descending order?
Ascending order.
Ascending order. Ascending order means in the condition place, what conditional operator we need to use.
Less than or equal.
Less than or equal to, and range. See, the points I explained, if you remember them, the code will come very nicely. You won't make mistakes there. Then I want to print. No, it's not printed, right? Logic I need to build. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 100. You see, how many numbers are divisible by 5? 1 is not divisible by 5. 2 is not. 3 is, only 5 is divisible by 5. How can you check this logic? So if you want to filter it out, use filter condition, that is if condition. If so, I value percentile by 5 equal to 0. That means what is this percentile will do? Sorry?
Reminder
Reminder we will get. Super. Reminder we will get. If any number that is divisible by 5 equal to 0, the remainder is 0, then print only that one. That is the 5 divisible. So print I value. So I'm going to give some space between I and every number /t you put, that is a tabbing. So in the keyboard there is a tab, right? I'm appending every I value tab. So I'm not going to use a println, I'll use print method. So why print method? In the same horizontal line, one after the other, it will print. If you use println, it will be vertically, it will print. Your console will fill with all the numbers. You cannot see them. You have to scroll again if you want to see. And if you print one after the other, that's a horizontal you're printing. So that side by side your numbers, but every number after I'm putting one space. That is a tab. One tab I am pressing. That's a /t represent one tab. It will press one tab. So that's a /t, put in double quotes. You will get a one tab key it will press. Okay. So the logic is done. After logic, what we need to do? Increment part, right? Now I plus. So first logic, this is the logic. And the second part in the body, what will be there? Increment part. Increment. That's it. Any while loop body, this is the thing. Logic will be there. Logic after incrementation mandatory. Okay. After my while loop, so it will iterate. I need to bring my cursor, because in the same line cursor will be there, because this print method will print this value after space. The cursor will be here only. How can I bring to next line after all my while loop is execution? So I'm calling println method. So plain println method I'm calling. So cursor will come back to next line. Then I'll say end of my this method. Okay, so that's a one simple method, one logic we build. This is how we are building the logics, guys. That's it. Okay, any questions here? I'm using while loop only. I'm not doing anything great here, but so different way we are doing. Next program. Next, what I need to do first, let me explain, right? So I'll write here if you want. So document comment you write. So document comment is this method prints 5 divisibles in given range. That's it. So that anybody can come and understand what this method is doing. Every method purpose is different. That's why we'll create a different method. And all logics you cannot write in one method. That's not a good idea, right? Every method logic is different. Now, I want to print even numbers or odd numbers. So these are two programs, okay? Two programs we need to do. One is you do one, I'll do another one, okay? So I need to print, concept remember, I need to print even numbers in a given range. How can you print? Or I want to print odd numbers. How can you print? So that is what we are going to do here. There are many ways you can do this, but think how can you do? But I will give you one concept here. The regular logic. The logic never going to change. So I'm going to use same logic here, right? Same logic I'm going to use. What is even number?
Which is divisible by 2, sir.
That's the logic. If you just know that, point, Priyanka explained, right? the number should be divisible by 2. If you get 0, the remainder, that's a even number. If you are not getting 0,
It's an odd number.
it's a odd number. Very simple. So that the answer you are getting here itself. And if you remember those logics, you can build it. Let's build the logic. So again, same parameterized method I'm creating. So static. So void print even or odd. So let me write even or odd number shall I write? Because the same way instead of 5 we'll put a 2, then print that. That's a even number. So I'll put odd numbers. Okay. Print odd numbers, but I'm going to do a reverse. Okay. Print odd numbers from 50 to 1. Odd numbers from max to minimum or max to minimum. So like that you can do also using while loop. So max value I'll give. So max value can give until 1 I'll print. Okay. So int max value, max boundary value, max value. Okay. So I'll give max value. So from where you want 50 to 1, 100 to 1. So that's the point here. So that means what I'm doing here, I used ascending order. Here what I'm doing here, descending order I'm following. So descending order means you need to immediately catch the points. So in the condition place, what will come? All these points you remember immediately. So printing odd numbers from, see that what I'm going to do, max val to 1. See, I'm not hard coding here the value. Whatever the value you are giving, that will come and place it here. So what I'm doing. So this is a string, right? This I want to print as it is. That's why I kept in double quotes. Plus max value, this one. Okay. And initialize int I equal to, so this max value. Whatever the value you are given, the initialized value should be max. Then while I, so condition place, what conditional operator you need to write?
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to 1. The lowest value is 1. Till 1 I need to print. So while body I have written, now we need to write the condition. So the logic I'm writing. So logic is very simple. If I percentile by 2 not equal to 0, see that very simple. If it is equal to 0, that will be even number. If not equal to 0, that will be odd number. Very simple, right? And just print this. So anybody having doubts and all these logics, it will come by practice, don't worry. So just listen the video one more time, but remember this logic and you can build easily. Okay, logic is built. And now decrement or increment? Update I value. Update I value with decrement. So I told you ascending order means decrement operator. That's it. Okay, I'll bring my cursor to next line here. So next line, then I'll do my coding end here. So end of my print this thing method, so that I can understand where my method started, where my method is ended. That's why I'm just writing all this. Or you want to put some design, just put some design here saying that. That's a very simple design you can put. So it's going to be easy for us to catch up. So what is happening, you can just do that, right? And I can say this method prints max value to 1 odd numbers. And what is the exercise? So take exercise. Print even numbers from 1 to given max value. Okay, 1 to given max value, I'm saying 1 to given range. So that means ascending order you're doing, but I did here max to lowest value is 1, but the lowest value is fixed in the even number case. What I'm doing, I'm asking you to do the coding, print even numbers. Make a note of this question. Okay, print even numbers from 1 to given range. So that's a program, nice statement I'm giving. For that you write the code. Then, so we are done. Shall I move to next program? Or any problem here? Yeah, our next program is, I want to print characters. I want to print characters. Suppose I want to print capital A to capital Z as characters I want to print. Character I want to print first. So what is the next program? I want to print characters capital A to capital Z. So note down another question for you, another example for you. Print small z to a characters using while loop. That's exercise for you. Second exercise. So note down the second exercise. What is the second exercise? Print small z to small a using while loop. Now I'm going to do capital A to capital Z characters using while loop. Okay, so let's do protected static. So void print capital A to capital Z using while loop. So there is no parameter here, guys. That's why I'm not putting anything. So you can write here. I can. So the document comment, I'm explaining this. This method prints. So this is the way, the best practices you follow. I'm giving in the Java itself best practices. So what is the best practices? Commenting each line and explaining about that method, what this method is doing with a document comment, so that people can understand what this method is doing. If some other new person came into your place, so when he sees his code, your code, he should understand. If you put some comments so that he can understand. If no comments are there, how he will understand, right? So basically I'm saying that's the best practices we need to follow. This method prints capital A to capital Z characters, alphabets. Basically you can say alphabets. So I can say print A to Z alphabets using while. So that's these are alphabets. Okay, now so I'm simply saying print capital A to capital Z alphabets using while loop. Okay, now so capital A, so what is this, ascending order or descending order? This one?
Ascending order.
Ascending order.
Ascending order, right? A to Z you are going, but I have given exercise for you Z to A, small Z to A. That's ascending or descending?
Descending.
Descending.
That's the concept. Just understand those things. Now my initialization is char C equal to capital A. That's my character. I'm initializing with the capital A. While next while loop, right after initialization. This is the initialization part. Initialization. Then what is the next condition, right? We need to write a condition, while condition. C less than or equal to, what is the last end point? Z, right? Z. C less than or equal to Z. And then sys out. But I will use print method, not println, because I don't want to print in vertically. And C variable value, and every variable after I'm giving a one tab. So that means one space I'm giving. That's a /t will print the space. Tab key it will press. So that one space will be provided. Then the incrementation. So logic I have written, incrementation I'm writing now. So what is the incrementation? C++. So that's the how you can print it. I'm just bringing the cursor to next line after while loop. This is the end of while loop. End of while loop. See, end of while loop after only I'm bringing my cursor to next line. I'm not writing this print statement inside the while loop. Okay, so make sure you understand that concept. Okay, done. That's it. So any doubts here? Next logic I'm writing public static. So void. Next program is I want to print capital A to capital Z ASCII numbers, ASCII code values for capital A and capital Z. So print ASCII code for capital A to capital Z using while loop. See, now I'm printing this capital A to capital. Okay, what is capital A ASCII code? What is B? What is C? Till A to Z. From A to Z, I need to print ASCII code values. How can we print? So it's the thing. So printing ASCII code value from capital A to capital Z using while loop, so that we can understand where this method started. That's what I'm doing, all this kind of print statements. And then initialization. So ASCII code means integer, right? Integer J equal to capital A. So when you assign a character to integer, what will happen? What is meant by if I assign a character to integer? What will happen?
It will return the ASCII value of the
ASCII value will store in J. ASCII value, capital A ASCII code. What is the capital A ASCII code?
65.
65. 65 will store in the J now. That's it. Now J less than or equal to capital Z, and the condition also done. Just print the value. So J value /t print method, then J plus plus. That's it. If you want to print a character, char data type you have to take. If you want to print a ASCII code, in ASCII code means integer, right? That's why we are using integer data type. So that's it, guys. It's very too. Why I'm writing multiple programs here is you can remember the syntax of while loop, the structure. So that's a intention of writing multiple while loop programs. The logics, you build the logic, right? We are building the logics. Okay. So the next code is the simple programs. I want to print a table, a mathematical table, right? So you give the number table we need to print. You give the what number table you want, and that number table it has to print 1 to 10. 2 into 1, 2 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 2, 4, 2 multiplied by 3, 6. If you give 2 number table, it will print a 2 table. If you give 3 table. Any number table you give, you need to print that table. So that means what type of method I need to create?
Return type method.
Huh?
Return type
what
method.
type of method? Huh?
Return type method. Non-static return type method.
Return type. What is returning, madam, here? 1 to 10 is a one value to return. When you can use the return type methods? If it is returning a one value only, not multiple values. Here 1 to 10, one value.
No.
Then why are you returning that? How can you return multiple values? It's not possible. So I want to give a choice for the user. You enter your table number. Then what type of method we need to create? With the parameters or without parameters? With the parameters or without parameters?
Any number of that table.
Any table number, right? Multiplication table number. Table number I have to give. That's my input. The input what you need to give, you should know. So I'm giving my table number here. So this is the table number. If you want, you don't understand, just put table number. So clearly you can understand. So table number you have to put as a parameter. You need to give which table you want. So I need to print. See what are all the things. I'll bring the format here to understand. So what is changing, what is not changing, understand. Can you tell me what are the values is changing here and what is the values are not changing? Is this X changing?
No.
No. So is this changing equal to operator?
No.
So these are the unchanged parts. Unchanged parts means from where we need to put if you want to print as it is. So what you can do? You have to print the values as it is. So where you need to put?
Interline.
System.println.
In double quotes you have to keep. Remember that. So now this is your table number. And what is this? 1 to 10 you have to go. So 1 to 10 means I value. You are initializing with a I value 1 and you are going till 10. So that's a 1. So write that. Printing table. You can tell for your kids also if they are not genius in the coding yet. You can tell what table you want. Just print in the console and show them. Okay. Printing the table. Printing multiplication table for. So for what? For which table you are printing?
2.
The table. The name you give. Just name you give.
Table
Okay?
number.
So now I'm starting with int I equal to 1. So while I less than or equal to 10, till 10 only I need. Till 10 means 1, 2, 3, 4 like this one, not tables. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 10. Okay. So now next logic I'm building. First I want to build this. What is this? The table number. So put table number there. So as per this logic I'm building. See that. First write in the print statement also table number. Then I need to join with this. So how can you join the number with this unchanged portion with the plus operator? Plus unchanged portion you put in the double quotes. That's a string. That string as it is it will print. Then what is the next one? Plus. So what is this one? I value. So this I. So I is the one. Put I. Then we need to join. So you need to join with I with what? With this equal operator. So equal after will it doesn't change, right? So put in double quotes. Then equal after what is there? Plus you join that. So with the parenthesis inside table number multiply by I. Right? This output is this one multiply by this one, right? That's I put it. So table number multiply by I value every time. So this is how you can build your logic. So based on this, we built up. That's why. So all these concepts. So now increment. Every time I value you need to increment, right? Next iteration, next iteration. So that's the how you can build it. So end of printing multiplication table. I'll say print multiplication table so that easy. Done. So next program. Any questions here?
I want to see the two table printing execution.
You give the table, madam. You give the table. It will print.
Okay.
You give the table number, whatever, it doesn't matter. Which table you want, you give.
Okay.
So the number you need to give, right? I'll give 5 table. Why 2 only? You can give any number you can give, right? Table number. See, 5 table is printed. Is it correct? You want a 2 table, you just give 2. Parameter, right? Parameterized methods, I think. So you should be very strong. So whatever the table number you give, that table it will print.
Nice.
It doesn't matter. See, same logic will repeat for any value. So we are written a simple logic. That logic is repeating for any table number. That's the method's power. You don't need to write for every table a same logic. If you want to repeat that, make it a parameterized method. You want to input something with a different sets of data, make it a parameterized method. That's what the concept. Okay, the next one, I told you, right? Last 2 programs are there. Let's finish quickly. 2 programs here. One I will give exercise for you. One I will do. The 2 programs is, so I already explained here. So this one, I want to print n natural numbers sum I need to find out. And another one I want to do, this is the all n natural numbers are there. In n natural numbers, you have even numbers, odd numbers. Both numbers sum it is giving here. Okay. But I want to fetch even numbers sum, odd numbers sum separately. How can you do that? Which one you want me to do? This one or that one? Even odd numbers sum you want me to do, or this finding the sum of this? Anyhow, you have here, right? Let me do even and odd numbers sum. So I cannot return that, because 2 I'm returning, 2 values I'm getting, so I need to make it a void only. But here you are getting only 1 value, that's why I made it as a return type method. Why I'm not going to return even and odd numbers both at a time? I cannot return that. Only single value you can return at a time from a method. Okay, so now here is public static void print even odd numbers sum in a given range using while loop. So you give the range, till what range you want even and odd numbers. So I can make a method definition. So this method prints even numbers and odd numbers sum in given range. So that's a clear definition I'm giving here. Started executing the method. So first I'll initial. First you have to declare 2 variables. Declare some even and some odd variable values as 0. So int some even equal to 0, some odd equal to 0. Both initialized. Some even and some odd separately I want. The one example given there, combinedly I'm taking. Here I'm separating. I want even numbers sum, odd numbers sum separately, but there we combinedly calculated. That is sum. Any number whole sum I want. That's that example. So this one is different. Okay, make sure int I equal to 1 and while less than or equal to range, because I want to go to till that range. If I percentile by 2 equal to 0, so then sum even equal to sum even plus I. So very simple, right? Else, so if else conditions, while loop inside if else conditions, and on the top also we used while loop inside if condition we have used. Now why I'm using if else? If I value 1, that's odd, so it will go in the else part. If I values 2 even numbers, it will go even number if block. That's a condition. Sum odd equal to sum odd plus I. So then after this, so this the logic is done. Now do increment. Increment the I value by 1. How can you do increment by 1? I plus, that's it. Then after this, so you print the sum of even number value is sum even. Sum of odd numbers is odd numbers value is print sum odd. That's it. So what is the difference here and there? Used extra if else condition here, and 2 variables you have taken. Okay, the last program for the while loop, that is, any doubts here? I already explained even numbers logic, and I have used the same here also. Already used logics only you will get here. Any doubts? The last program we are going to do, that is factorial value. I want to find the factorial value for the given number. So public static int return type. Now only 1 value I'll get, that's why I'm returning. So public static int get factorial value. So I'll give int n. So any number you give, for that number you find the factorial value. So this method finds the factorial value for the given number. See, all this mathematics we are using, this is the logics you are building up, right? Factorial value. What is a factorial value? Right? You can do like this, right? So it will start with 1 and keep multiplying that till n. So keep multiplying till n. You will get like this. So that's the one we are going to, then that multiplication will give output to us. So that's the one. Let me show you that. First declare your factorial value. and started executing the get factorial value method. So declare first int fact equal to 1, factorial value initialize, int j equal to 1, initialize your while loop initialized value. So declaring factorial value, first initialized factorial value as 1. So that's what I did. Declare while loop start value as 1. Okay, this is the while loop start value and while condition. So j less than or equal to n. So till n, whatever the n you are giving, that n. So fact equal to fact multiplied by z. This is the multiplying you are. So then you can do j plus plus and return statement you have to write after while loop. Okay, so return fact value. So now I'll take a simple, okay, 3. I'll take a 3. So now what will happen? N is 3. You assume that n is 3. I'm going to calculate for 3 factorial value. So right, what is the 3 factorial value? So 3 factorial value, let me give you an example. 3 factorial value means first what will happen? It is calculating here. So first j value 1, right? So 1 less than or equal to 3. So that is true. Come inside. So calculate here. So fact multiply. What is the fact value currently? 1. So multiply by what is the j value? 1. So it is 1 now. So factorial value also 1 years. So here j value 1, right? Currently 1 plus 1, it will become 2. So next go here. So now you got a latest updated j value. 2 less than or equal to 3. That is true. Come inside. So calculate here. Factorial value 1 multiply by j value 2. So it will become 2. Your factorial value is becoming 2 now. Next here, come here. So execute that. So current j value 2, 2 plus 1, now 3, j value 3. So go to condition. 3 less than or equal to 3. What is the output? True or false?
Truth.
Huh?
True.
True. Comes inside and factorial already 2. 2 multiplied by j value 3. So that is 6. And then comes here. So current j value 3 plus 1, 4. And now go to the condition. 4 less than or equal to 3. True or false?
False.
It doesn't go inside, and don't do the calculation again. What is the final factorial value? 6. So 6 is the value it is going to return by this method. Okay. So 3 factorial value is 6. That means 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. That is 6. For example, 4 factorial value if you want. 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. What is that? 12, 24. So 24 is that. So you give that value here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's up to you. Any number, the logic is same. It doesn't change. That's the power of parameterized methods. Parameterizing, if you want to test this logic with the different sets of data, and you parameterize that method. So that's why I parameterize it. I'm not hard coding here. So these are all the methods we need to practice. And you're getting 2 days holidays, right? Utilize that, practice as many programs. Let's call one by one. Okay, so print. Any questions here? I explained very clearly, I hope. And if you have any doubts, let me know. So 1 to 100, I'm printing 5 decimal. See, only 5 decibels will print here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Only 5 decibels are not till 100. Other numbers are skipped automatically. That's what a filter. Who is doing filter? If condition is doing filter. Loop, while loop is iterating. Inside while loop condition, while if condition statement filtering your numbers. in the group of values, it is filtering. Okay, which one you want, you are picking that one only with if condition. Filtering is done by with if condition. Iteration is done by loops. Clear? Any doubts? Next one. Next, what is the next method? Print odd numbers from max to minimum, right? I think I have given another example for you. That is even numbers. So how many examples I have given? How many exercises I have given?
2, sir.
2 are.
4.
4, sir. Sorry.
Can you spell out what are all the 4 methods? Can you somebody read the methods?
Get factorial values, get multiplication, division values.
Division values. I did tell all these things. Get factorial value I have done. Why you want to do again?
No.
Max to min.
Max to values.
I think nobody written, huh?
Print even numbers.
Even numbers, small
numbers.
alphabets, small
One to give
alphabets.
I think you are
small.
correct. Just read, Priyanka, or others be silent. If you are not noted down, please note down at least.
Sir, I
Priyanka,
noted.
yeah.
Sir.
Can you read out?
Print even numbers 1 to given max value range. And
Okay.
second one is print small character value Z to A using while loop. Third, fourth, I did not write it.
Third one, ASCII character. Note down. Third one. Print ASCII character small z to A alphabets using while loop. Print ASCII code values for small z to small a using while loop. Small z to small a. And next, I told you print write a return type method to return the n natural numbers sum. These are the 5 methods I have given. Right, another one, odd numbers, even numbers I have given, right? Even numbers and printing this alphabets and this natural numbers. Yeah, and natural numbers sum we need to print. Okay, so next, print characters. So print capital A to capital Z, then print capital A to capital Z ASCII code values. See that all the static methods you can call directly, right? That's what I see, that A, B, C, D, E, F. So A ASCII code is 65, B ASCII code is 66, C 67, D 68, E 69, F 70, G 71, H 72 till Z is the last one. 90 is the ASCII code. See that this is the how you can write the programs. And then what left? So to call multiplication table, we have seen print even odd numbers sum. That's called last method. That's the last method, right? Yeah, I'll give 1 to hundreds, even numbers and odd numbers sum separately. It will calculate. See that sum of even numbers is 2550, the value 1 to 100, and sum of odd numbers is 2500. What is the difference between both of them? How much difference is there? Even number sum is more always, odd number sum is less. What is the difference between both of them?
50.
50 is the difference. That's it. So that's all about while loop and programs and theory part. And any questions, let me know.